I'm going to begin, Holly, by asking if you could tell us how you fit into this particular story.
Well, do I fit in? You know, I think that Senator Finch brings a kind of neutrality to the proceedings. And when this movie begins, it's like pretty chaotic. Starts off with mayhem, and she brings a kind of logic and a gravitas to the proceedings that I thought was really engaging. And I think, you know, when she asks questions, she really wants to know. She's really coming out of herself and towards the other person with a genuine curiosity that I found very attractive.
Yeah, because for me, she almost represents sort of normality in this film. She's one of the arguably the most human character in this film. I thought, is that something that was one of the sort of appeals to you, that she just sort of, in this world of kind of supernaturalism, she was just someone that was quite down to earth?
Well, that's lovely. I wanted her to be very empathic. I wanted to understand Lex Luthor, who is evil, but understand him not from a guileless point of view, but from an experienced but open point of view. And it was difficult to remain open to somebody who was kind of baiting me and prodding me and, you know, poking me, as Jesse Eisenberg so brilliantly does in the movie, because he also shows me a lot about Lex Luthor's pain and why he's hurt. And there was something about that was kind of disarming and a little bit enchanting in an odd way.
And so from the moment your casting was announced, I mean, there were sort of fan theories and people writing articles just trying to figure out how you're going to fit into this story. I was just wondering, in regards to films of this nature, has it been quite overwhelming, that kind of aspect of it, that whole fan support and the fan theories and just the way they respond to a feature like this? Have you ever known anything like it?
I've never done anything like it, but I have to say I have stayed out of that social media melee. I don't really know that much about it. I mean, I do know that there was a lot of fervor when each cast member would be announced as to who was going to play who. But, you know, that's a world that I don't really, you know, it's out there, and I think that's great.
But technically speaking...
I live my life.
Yeah. Because I was going to say, technically speaking, it's not your first superhero film, obviously, The Incredibles. Incredibles 2's set for 2019.
Isn't that nice? Isn't that so nice?
I can't wait for that. When does that all get started? You must be so excited.
I think soon, like within a month or so. You know. And it's so great for The Incredibles because Brad Bird is going to write it and direct it. So that's brilliant. And, you know, thank goodness, because he's kind of a genius.
So is the screenplay all in place and everything's kind of good to go?
It sounds like it. I mean, I haven't read it yet, but yeah.
Yeah. Is it one of those instances with people like Brad and just with Pixar where they say, do you want to do it? You just go, yeah, go on then, before you've read the screenplay. Such is the sort of faith that you can have in these filmmakers.
Well, you know, it's true. But both of these movies kind of came down the pike like that. But, you know, with Brad, you know, he invited me to take a tour of Pixar. And yeah, that's a really impressive place. Yeah.
And just finally, Batman or Superman? Who do you prefer?
Superman, he can fly. I mean, if you make friends with Superman, maybe he can, you know, maybe you can go with him. Yeah. You know, so, yeah.
Yeah, these junkies in other countries would be a lot easier to get to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much for your time.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey